Hey y'all, it's K-Bird Tweets, and this is Peace, Love, and Baseball. Welcome to Peace, Love, and Baseball. Another week, another show. Hey, how's it going? I'm your host, K-Bird Tweets, and it is time for the 12 free agents of Christmas. Today, we're going to dive into 12 of the most highly anticipated free agents who have yet to sign because, yes, it is officially December. It's the holiday season, and the Major League Baseball winter meetings are indeed upon us, which means free agent negotiations and trade talks are in full force this week in Nashville, Tennessee. And hey, speaking of Tennessee, today, as I'm recording live, is December 4th. Do you know what happened across the way in Memphis, Tennessee on December 4th, 1956? Well, 67 years ago today at Sun Studios in Memphis was the one and only night that four rock and roll rockabilly superstars came together. That in Elvis Presley, Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, and Johnny Cash all played together at Sam Phillips Studios in Memphis. And this is where the smash hit Broadway musical sensation Million Dollar Quartet was born. This is also where my love story was born with my husband. It all started back before my parents were even born in 1956, if you can believe it or not. I did tell that story on our episode on the week of December 4th last year. So I'll link it in the show notes. I will not bore you with it again because I have already told it, but it's a pretty cool story. It's not just like, oh, we were both in that show together. There's a little more to it than that. But ultimately, it all comes back to us meeting, doing the show Million Dollar Quartet. And it's just so cool that it is based on this real date in history. And that, I mean, who knows? I like to think we would have met each other some way, right? But who knows how it would have happened if it didn't all happen through this real date in history in time. It solidified its place in history in my life forever. So happy MDQ Day, Million Dollar Quartet Day to those who celebrate. It will always be a very special day for me. So before we talk about the 12 free agents of Christmas tonight, obviously this is a spoof off of the Christmas Carol, The 12 Days of Christmas. Yeah. But it got me thinking, like, what is the origin of the 12 Days of Christmas? I certainly never knew, and I have been singing this song all of my life. I've always loved it, especially as a kid. So one of my favorite childhood memories around the holidays is when the madrigals from the high school in my town, the madrigal singers, would come and perform at our grade school. They would perform in the gymnasium, and I can see them in my mind right now, like in this line in their beautiful costumes. And one of the songs that they would always do every single year was the 12 Days of Christmas. And it was always our favorite because they had usually like two people in the madrigals who would act it out. And at least one of them was a jester, and it was really silly and hilarious. And they just had a super fun take on it. And it was a blast to watch and participate in. And actually, I'm just remembering this as I'm talking about it. They would pick a couple kids out of the audience every year to participate in the little acting it out with them. And you always like wanted so bad to be that kid. I don't think I ever got to be that kid. I don't remember getting picked out of the audience to do the 12 Days of Christmas with the madrigals, but I got to be in madrigals once I was in high school. So I actually got to be the jester my senior year. And I got to be the silliest, most ridiculous one, having the most fun with the 12 Days of Christmas. So that's what I think of when I think of the song. It really, came full circle for high school Kelsey there. But where did the 12 days come from? Like, what are the 12 days? When are they? Let's find out. So the 12 days of Christmas is the period of time in Christian theology that marks the span between the birth of Christ, so Christmas Day, and the coming of the Magi or the three wise men. It's all about waiting for the three wise men. I don't know how I didn't know this. Maybe at some point I did know this and I forgot. But anyway, we're waiting for the wise men to come. So it begins on December 25th and it runs through January 6th, which is also known as the Epiphany, sometimes also called Three Kings Day. The 4 weeks before Christmas are collectively known as Advent in the Christian faith, which begins 4 Sundays before Christmas and it ends on December 24th. So we celebrate the coming and then we celebrate the coming of the three wise men as well. The history of the song, however, is a little murky. The earliest known version actually appeared in a 1780 children's book. So a children's book way back in the 1700s, and it was called Mirth Without Mischief. There is a first edition of this book that sold for $23,750 at a Sotheby's auction just rather recently in 2014. So that original book, you can't get it, but unless you want to pay probably 30 grand now, but you can buy a digital copy on Amazon. So look it up, Mirth Without Mischief. Some historians think that the song is of French origin, but most seem to agree that it was designed as a memory of forfeits game in which singers tested their recall of the lyrics, because that's like the fun part of it, right? You have to see if you can remember, and we're going to see if I can remember as we go through our 12 free agents today. But the singers tested their recall of the lyrics, and they had to award their opponents a forfeit with like a kiss or a favor of some kind if they made a mistake. Yeah, that sounds like an old game to me. Anyway, I thought it was also interesting to find out that if you actually gave all of the gifts on the 12 days of Christmas, let's see if I can name them. 12 drummers, we're live. 12 drummers drumming, 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. So if you gave all of those gifts, I'm assuming at the numbers, like there's actually 4 calling birds, and 12, maybe it's like 12 drums. I don't know how you would purchase a drummer. I don't want to know. As a drummer, I don't want to know. But to give all these gifts in 2022, the estimated cost of giving all those gifts would be $45,523.27. That's way too much to spend on anyone for Christmas. Listen, that's way too much to spend on everyone for Christmas. And there's way too many birds in that song to ever be a good idea to actually give as gifts for Christmas. So you're welcome. That might be the only thing worse than giving a chocolate diamond for Christmas. A brown chocolate diamond for Christmas would be to actually give the gifts from the 12 days of Christmas. So just take that off your plate. What I want to know is, do you have a favorite version of the song? Obviously, there's a billion different versions of the song, as there is of every Christmas song. But there's not one that I particularly find myself listening to. My memory of it is performing it rather than actually listening to a specific version of it. So hit me up. Let me know. Leave a comment if there is a version of the 12 Days of Christmas that you like, or if you have any specific special holiday memories with it. We are going to dive in now to the 12 free agents of Christmas, because the stove is hot, the free agents are free, and they are ready to be signed and paid lots of dollars to play in Major League Baseball in 2024. So obviously there's a lot more than 12 free agents, but we are going to talk about the 12 that personally, I am the most invested in and interested in following and seeing where they land. And those might not be like the 12 most popular. The really popular ones are on here, I'm sure. But I do think for the listener base, they're probably the 12 that the most of you are most vested in as well. So let's get started, shall we? Starting with the first free agent. So on the first day of Christmas, baseball gave to me a power hitter in a pear tree, which is, of course, Jorge Soler. Most recently of the Miami Marlins, Jorge Soler is a Cuban outfielder and a designated hitter. He actually won a bronze medal with the Cuban national team at the 2010 World Junior Baseball Championship. And that was the year before he then defected from Cuba in 2011. And he actually lived in Haiti in his pursuit of a career in Major League Baseball. So you got to get out of Cuba, set down some residency, official residency somewhere else, and then you can be declared a free agent and sign in Major League Baseball. It's kind of crazy. But as a free agent at age 21, he signed a 9-year, $30 million contract with the Chicago Cubs in 2012. He actually played for the Peoria Chiefs for a handful of games that year in 2012 when I totally was not living in Peoria. I was like, man, I could have gone and seen him play. I'm from the Peoria, the Central Illinois area. And this would have been when they were obviously the Cubs single A team. They've kind of gone back and forth as the Cubs and the Cardinals. But no, I wouldn't have been around in 2012. Jorge and I missed each other. But Soler hit a home run in his first major league at bat with the Cubs. That happened in August of 2014. Listen to this guy's postseason career. June and Louise want to hear all about it. These girls have been making a ruckus the last hour or so. So we might get a lot of this tonight. My apologies to the live viewers. So Jorge Soler's postseason career started by him reaching base 9 times in a row in 2015 with the Cubs. 5 walks, 2 home runs, a double, and a single. And if you're a Cardinals fan, you remember this 2015 postseason well, because you'll recall that he had a game-saving outfield assist against the Cardinals in Game 4 of that NLDS that ultimately sent the Cubs to the NLCS over the Cardinals. Boo. The following year, he became a world champion with the Cubs, and he contributed 2 hits in the World Series. He's traded to the Royals in 2017, where he most notably won the AL home run title with 48 home runs. And this was the highest total number of home runs in a single season by a Cuban-born player. Give it up. He's traded to the Braves in 2021, where his home runs averaged 423 feet, which was the longest average home run distance of all Major League Baseball hitters that season. I'm not sure what it was in 2022 or 2023, but I'd be interested to see. And who do you think it is? If you have any thoughts, let me know. We'll find out. He also became the first player ever to hit a home run in his first plate appearance of a World Series that season with the Braves in Game 1. And then he had 2 additional huge home runs in Game 4 and Game 6 of the 2021 World Series, secured him that World Series MVP title. Do you get where I'm going with this? Jorge Soler, power hitter in a pear tree. So he's a free agent in March of 2022. That's when he signs his 3-year contract with the Miami Marlins. He was an all-star this past season, but he's now opted out for the final year of that Marlins deal, where he was set to make $15 million, but he's going to become a free agent once again. And this was not surprising at all because he had his best overall season in quite a while. He's probably looking to lock in another long-term deal while he's still young, he's 31. So he hit 36 home runs this last season, slashed 250, 341, 512. And he has a notable walk rate of 11.4%, which is significantly above league average. He strikes out at about 24.3%, which is pretty close to league average. Soler is a below average outfielder, so he's most typically going to be your DH, not necessarily going to be any team's, everyday outfielder, but his power is probably the biggest power upside among all the free agents this year. It is predicted by MLB Trade Rumors that he will get a deal to the likes of 3 years at $45 million. So that's the number to keep an eye on. He could easily end up back with the Marlins, but I think the Diamondbacks are another interesting fit for Soler in 2024. Surely there's many teams that are interested, but I'm going to put it out there. Soler to the Diamondbacks. Imagine adding that power to their lineup. That'd be sweet. Let's move on to the second day of Christmas, shall we? And then we'll start singing. On the second day of Christmas, baseball gave to me 2 players in one, and that is, of course, one Shohei Ohtani. Yeah, your 2018 AL Rookie of the Year, 2021-2023 MVP for the American League. He is a 3-time All-Star. So not only did he hit the most home runs in the American League this season with 44, yes, 44 home runs this season, he was also first in slugging percentage, on base plus slugging percentage, total bases, triples, OPS plus, extra base hits, and intentional walks. Oh, also, he started as the starting pitcher, 34 games, pitched 132 innings with 167 strikeouts, and went 10-5 with a 3.14 ERA. So also he's a unicorn is what I'm trying to say. And if you haven't heard, you heard it here first. Shohei Ohtani, also known as unicorn. Now, he did tear his UCL for the second time in his career. So he has Tommy John surgery in 2018 after his first season with the Angels. We talked a little bit about that on last week's episode, but he had a second elbow surgery to repair the UCL that for some reason we are not calling Tommy John, but yeah, that's the surgery to repair a torn UCL. So you do the math. But meaning he will not be medically cleared and able to pitch until the 2025 season. So we're like amping up, biggest free agency story ever, like monster contract. It quite likely could still be the biggest AAV, like average annual value for his contract. But we're not going to see, like the 10-year, $500 million contracts that maybe we initially anticipated because of this injury. But, next year we might just get to do it all over again, and that'll be extra fun. There is a much lower rate of success to return to form after a second Tommy John surgery. But, if it can be done by anyone, the unicorn is going to do it. He is expected to be able to hit by opening day of 2024. And with those offensive stats we just shared, still absolutely more than worth it. Tuck him in your back pocket to pitch in 2025 as well. So who gets him? I told you my theory on last week's episode. I'm back in my own little simulation. I'm going to stay there. But I also put a poll out that was interesting. And I asked, is it worse for baseball if Shohei Ohtani is an Angel or a Dodger? Because everybody just keeps talking about how bad it is for baseball that Shohei Ohtani and, like Mike Trout are with the Angels because they never play in the postseason. And I'm 100% on board with that. I wish that could change. But I guess the thing is, I wish that could change rather than us just being like, yeah, sell him to the highest bidder. And then the team that always wins or always has a chance to win, because I like to see different teams, different players. And yes, of course, we want to see the biggest stars on the biggest stage. But it's just like a more interesting storyline to me. And it might only be kind of because I don't like the Dodgers as a Cardinals fan. And that's just so tired to me. It's boring. Shohei to the Dodgers. So I think for what I determined is it might be worse for baseball if Shohei Ohtani is on the Angels, but it might be worse for baseball fans, those of us who are like already really in it, here in the thick of it at Peace, Love, and Baseball, if Shohei Ohtani is on the Dodgers. Unless, of course, you are a Dodgers fan, then you do you. Okay, so we've got 2 players in one and a power hitter in a pear tree. Oh yeah, you're going to get it tonight. On the third day of Christmas, baseball gave to me 3 MVPs. That is Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Yeah, we've talked about Yamamoto a little bit here. He is, in my opinion, easily the most exciting free agent outside of Ohtani, as he becomes an eligible free agent in Major League Baseball after starting his career in the Nippon League in Japan. So he won the Nippon Professional Baseball MVP award, the equivalent of the Major League Baseball MVP award, 3 years in a row, and he's a starting pitcher. I'm not sure how uncommon it is for pitchers to win that award, but in Major League Baseball, it's not very common that a pitcher wins the MVP or even gets MVP votes, honestly. So, I'm just going to give you a little snapshot here into Yamamoto's career. Got a career ERA of 1.84. This season, he was even better at 1.42 in 171 innings, 17-6 record. He has thrown 2 no-hitters in back-to-back seasons, and the second one was the 100th no-hitter in league history. What I love about his stuff is his yo-yo curveball. He's got the upper 90s on the fastball, off-speed pitches. But what I really love is the simplicity in his delivery. And it leads me to believe that even with the insane speed that's coming out of his hand, such a simple windup, basic mechanics, I think he could be healthy and he could be good for a really long time. So he's got a low walk rate, doesn't give up a lot of hard contact. Everything you want to see. He only gave up 2 home runs in the NPB this season, and he's got the swing and miss stuff. I do have to say that, it really sounds like the Cardinals are out on Yamamoto, definitely out on Yamamoto, probably out on all starting pitching. So join me in mourning here, but I'm still excited to see where Yamamoto ends up. And I just really hope it's not with the Dodgers or the Mets. But what do I think? I think he is going to get a monster deal, over $200 million. And I think the Dodgers are going to get him because I don't think that they will get Shohei Ohtani, right? Which I've already pled my case for. I don't think they're going to get Shohei Ohtani. So then they're definitely going to have to be all in and get their Yamamoto. Hate it, but it is what my gut is telling me. Okay, so we've got 3 MVPs, 2 players in 1, and a power hitter in a pear tree. I can do this. We're only on 3. On the 4th day of Christmas, baseball gave to me 4 gold gloves. It's Matt Chapman. Yeah, while overall he did have a down year offensively in 2023, he won his 4th gold glove at third base with the Blue Jays. He is easily the best third baseman available on the free agent market this offseason. He slashed 240, 330, 424, 17 home runs, 54 RBIs, 66 runs, and a 108 OPS plus. So less than stellar. He had a really good start to the season, if I remember correctly. And then it just really fizzled out pretty quickly and never came back around. But he reportedly turned down an extension with the Blue Jays earlier in 2023. Maybe he was trying to see, if he could swing back around and pick it up. But depending on how his market value plays out, it is likely that the Blue Jays will bow out, assuming that his price tag is too high. My thoughts on where Matt Chapman might end up: Cubs, Giants, Mariners, Mets have all been reported fits for Matt Chapman, but I'm picking the Cubs because I think the Cubs are looking to make a number of different upgrades here, and this just seems like one of the more realistic ones that might actually be a fit on both sides. I don't know. I'm very uncomfortable with the Cubs having good defense, very uncomfortable. But they've wisely made it a priority, and it's been paying off. So I could see them sticking with that and look for Craig Counsell to leverage it even more, especially with a guy like Matt Chapman. Let's do it. 4 Golden Gloves, 3 MVPs, 2 players in 1, and a power hitter in a pear tree. On the 5th day of Christmas, baseball gave to me a 5 ERA. What a great gift. Yeah, that's my boy Jay Flair, Jack Flaherty. He finished the 2023 season with a 4.99 ERA in 27 starts between the Cardinals and the Orioles and 144.1 innings pitched with 148 strikeouts. So the swing and miss stuff is still there, folks, but his strikeouts per nine fell to 9.2 this season from they were 10.8, 10.6, 10.9 in 2018, 19, and 20, where he really looked like he was going to be emerging as the Cardinals' next franchise ace. Remember those days? Oh, man. If nothing else, Jay Flair has a heart of gold, and I am hoping to see him get a good pillow deal with an organization that can invest in him the way that he needs and get that magic back, because he has the pedigree. It's in there. He is the youngest free agent pitcher on the market, and he has plenty of big league experience, but he has struggled to stay healthy. He's been primarily working through shoulder issues since the 2021 season, and he did appear much healthier overall in the 2023 season. Like all of 2022, every time he took the mound, I don't know if you remember or felt this way about it, but he just did not look right. And I really felt for him, because at some point you've got to pitch through stuff, and there's a lot more complexity to those kinds of decisions being made than we ever really know about, or that I could understand or talk to you about right now. But just looking at him, it was like, yikes, something needs to change, or something needs to get taken care of before he can even look like not uncomfortable again and like get right. So fortunately, he did look more right, like mechanically, functionally in 2023, but it did not return to his 2019 form in terms of results. And that's what we're looking for. That's how you get paid, is those results. So it's going to be interesting to see if Flaherty ends up on most likely a 1 or 2 year deal, but perhaps something slightly longer, considering that he's still young and he could approach things from a number of different angles, depending on where he's at, how he's feeling physically, what kind of chance he wants to take on the next year or two. So most important for him, like I said, got to find a fit where the organization's coaching staff and investment in him could be the difference maker, because he wears his heart on his sleeve. I think he's really open-minded. I think he's very coachable, actually, and that will be something that is a difference maker for a guy like him. We'll see. It sounds like the Pirates are interested from the latest reports that I'm hearing here on Monday, December 4th. But they only have one established starter for 2024 at the moment. They could definitely use him. So stay tuned. 5 ERA, 4 Golden Gloves, 3 MVPs, 2 players and 1, and a power hitter in a pear tree. We'll see if my mic held up for that one. Sometimes when I get too loud and I do my full Ethel on you, it might have cut out. I hope you heard it. Don't worry, you get to hear it like 7 more times. On the 6th day of Christmas, baseball gave to me 6 wins above replacement. And that's from a pitcher, folks. That's Blake Snell. Blake Snell had 6 WAR, which was 10th overall in WAR in Major League Baseball in 2023. He finished with the highest WAR among pitchers in his league in 2023, as well as in 2018. He also won the Cy Young Award in the NL this year in 2023 and in the AL in 2018. No surprise that he also had the best ERA in his respective leagues, 1.89 in 2018, the first time that he won the Cy Young, and 2.25 this past season with the Padres. Whew. However, outside of those 2 seasons, Blake Snell has had 3 seasons with an ERA over 3 and 3 seasons with an ERA over 4 for a career ERA of 3.2. So not a bad career ERA by any means, but lots of waves, lots of ebbs and flows. There's a lot of interesting things, all kinds of interesting things we could dig really deep into with Blake Snell, but keeping it kind of surface level here. Other interesting things to look at are his strikeouts per 9 have remained at 11 or higher. So that means like In 9 innings, on average, he would strike out 11 hitters or more. At times, it's been as high as 12.4 since the 2018 season. So since 2018, even when his ERA has dipped gotten higher, he has still maintained that strikeout rate. Sick. Here's the thing, though. While he did notch 234 strikeouts in 180 innings pitched in 2023, that's wild. He led the league with 99 walks. What? This is what I don't like about Blake Snell. The unconventionalness. It makes me very uncomfortable. And I think the inconsistency season over season speaks for itself there. It's what I always say about him is that I just feel like his success is a little too circumstantial for me. Obviously, he's got stuff. He's insanely talented. He's making it work. And again, those results are what matter. So what a great year for him to hit the free agent market. He's a Scott Boras client. So for me, I think Uncle Steve Cohen might just be the one to take a big old expensive chance on Blake Snell. Will he be a Met in 2024? Let's see if we can do it. 6 wins above replacement, 5 ERA, 4 Golden Gloves, 3 MVPs, 2 players and 1, and a power hitter in a pear tree. I need to pick a key. We'll see how many keys I sang this in. Probably 7 at least. On the 7th day of Christmas, Major League Baseball gave to me 7 IL stints. And not just 7 IL stints, but 7 injured list stints in the past 2 seasons. That is none other than our friend Harrison Bader. Hey, Bay. He has had a whirlwind of the past few years. Those 7 IL stints, nursing injuries from ribs to groin to the plantar fasciitis, which can just be such a pain and really difficult to get rid of, especially for athletes, and an oblique strain. All of those in 2022 and in 2023. He played 93 games in 2023 between the Reds and the Yankees, and only 86 in 2022 when he was traded at the deadline from the Cardinals to the Yankees whilst he was on the IL, if you recall. In fact, he has never had 450 plate appearances or 380 at-bats in a season. So that is not biting particularly well for our guy Bader in his now free agency. Bader is a league average hitter. I mean, his average is league average. He's got serious speed. He's got mad athleticism in center field when he's healthy. He won the Gold Glove in center field with the Cardinals in 2021. The man is a human highlight reel, truly. But what comes with that is all the injuries. He plays with reckless abandon. It is the same reason why I absolutely love to watch him play, is probably why he's injured all the time. I'm also going to speculate and, take this for what you will with a grain of salt, but he also has a build that I would consider to be more susceptible to injury, specifically for baseball activities. He's not built entirely different from one Tyler O'Neill. And even Giancarlo Stanton is obviously hugely taller than both of them, but that same muscly, everything is tight and compact, and you know what I mean. Just give him a look and you'll see what I'm talking about without me using my sciencey words for body type. But I'm sure that plays into it too. And that's something that hey, Brian Cashman, to some extent, you just can't help. And maybe that's what he was trying to say in his little comment that he made about Giancarlo Stanton being hurt, being a part of his game. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you should go over to Bourbon and Baseball, which is the show that I do with Susie, who is an Astros fan. We are doing it pretty consistently weekly on Sundays, but we do it once a week, every week. We'll be doing it on Sundays, put it out on Mondays. But go check out the episode that was from not this past one, but the one before. And we talk about Cashman talking about Stanton and Stanton's agent talking about Cashman and all of it. But I think that ultimately comes back to potentially them being this similar type of build is all I'm trying to say. And they've both most recently been on the Yankees. Tough luck for Brian Cashman. So Hay-Bay is looking for a pillow deal. Pillow deal, baby. Find that 1-year deal, land nice and softly on it, hope to bounce back and stay healthy, build value, platoon, whatever you got to do to earn a starting center field job. I could actually see the Yankees using Bader as a relatively cheap fit to cover their hole in the outfield by Jason Dominguez, their up-and-coming star. He is having Tommy John surgery, so he is likely going to be out, a large majority of the season. So it seems like Harrison Bader was a great culture fit, great teammate with the organization. 1 year, $8 million. What do you say, Cash? 7 IL stints, 6 wins above replacement, 5 ERA, 4 Golden Gloves, 3 MVPs, 2 players and 1, and a power hitter in a pear tree. Oh, we're on a roll now. On the 8th day of Christmas, baseball gave to me 8 postseason games. Any guess of who has played in 8 postseason games? Most of them rather recently, all of them in the last 3 seasons. Actually, last 4 seasons. It is Jordan Montgomery, J-Money. So, J-Money was undoubtedly a huge part of the Texas Rangers' road to the top and ultimate World Series title in 2023. Ain't nobody going to argue with that. In the regular season, he made 11 starts and went 4-2 with a 2.79 ERA for the Rangers after being traded from the Cardinals at the deadline. I'm not going to bother to share his Cardinals numbers with you because I don't think they very accurately represent the performance that he put on the field, because the rest of the circumstances surrounding him were like the opposite of Blake Snell. His numbers aren't bad. They just are not, the 2.79 ERA that he had with the Rangers, which I think is much more reflective of the way that he pitched, honestly, all season long. But where Jordan Montgomery surely is earning his free agency bag is in his 5 starts in 6 games that he played in this year's postseason, where he rounded out his stellar postseason ERA of 2.63 for a total of 8 postseason appearances in his career. So he had 1 with the Yankees in 2020, 1 with the Cardinals in 2022, and then, of course, the 6 games in 2023 to help the Rangers win it all. Overall, since he began his Major League Baseball career with the Yankees back in 2017, he hasn't been someone that you've probably heard a lot of chatter or excitement about. He's not a huge strikeout guy, but he has more than enough consistency, and even more so, he has locked in the matter of the past 2 seasons where it matters, right? To surely earn himself a huge payday here in free agency. I've heard probably the most teams connected to him because he makes sense. He would be an incredible pickup for so many teams, and he can kind of fit into a bunch of different rotations and really work with anyone who has solid defense. But I'm going to pick the Red Sox. I don't know why they just gut feelings seem like the most logical to me right now, but they definitely need him. So looking for J Money to get the money. It's probably going to be pretty darn close to the Aaron Nola deal if Scott Boras has anything to say about it. And he does, because he's his agent. So J Money going to get paid. Watch out. I think that one's coming soon. I think we're going to see that one soon. Okay. 8 postseason games, 7 IL stints, 6 wins above replacement, 5 ERA, 4 Golden Gloves, 3 MVPs, 2 players and 1, and a power hitter in a pear tree. We're getting lower as we go. I might not make it. On the 9th day of Christmas, on the 9th day of free agency, maybe that's what I should be saying. On the 9th day of free agency, baseball gave to me. It doesn't really make sense either. Let's just roll with Christmas. On the ninth day of Christmas, baseball gave to me a ninth inning guy. You know who it is? It's Josh Hader. So according to MLB.com, across 7 seasons, Hader has a 2.50 ERA and has struck out 648 batters in 388 and two-thirds innings. Among pitchers with at least 300 career innings, Hader's 42.2% strikeout rate is the best in Major League history. Outside of his 2022 season, so last season, he had a 5.22 ERA. Hader has been dominant as hell. So I hope you didn't just tune into him last season. He started with the Brewers and then was traded to the Padres, and there was all kinds of clubhouse drama around that too. But he's Josh Hader, baby. He's gonna get paid. It is predicted by MLB trade rumors that Hader could sign the likes of a record-setting 5-year, $100 million deal. So last year, you might recall that the Mets closer, Edwin Diaz, signed the largest free agent contract ever for a reliever. It was a 5-year deal at $102 million. So we're all eyes on to see if Hader will beat it. What do you think? The Orioles closer, Bautista, is set to miss all of 2024 with Tommy John surgery. Those are the latest reports from MLB.com, and they are saying that the Orioles have been in contact with Josh Hader. They need a closer. He is a Maryland native, and he actually began his career in the Baltimore organization after being selected in the 19th round of the 2012 draft. So is Hader going back to Baltimore? Maybe. Okay. Ninth inning guy, 8 postseason games, 7 IL stints, 6 wins above replacement, 5 ERA, 4 Golden Gloves, 3 MVPs, 2 players in 1, and a power hitter in a pear tree. That was a better key. We're getting there. Last few free agents of Christmas. On the 10th day, baseball gave to me 10 wins last season. Not that thrilling, no, but it is Marcus Stroman. Stroman signed a 3-year, $71 million deal with the Cubs before the 2022 season. It was the biggest contract of his career, but he did opt out of the guaranteed $21 million in 2024 to see if he can get a bigger deal on the open market. He is going to be 33 in the upcoming season, so probably trying to get, something a little bit longer, more guaranteed money. Don't blame him for that. But in his 2 seasons with Chicago, he has a record of 16-16, ERA of 4.22, and 238 strikeouts across 275.1 innings pitched. He had a really stellar start to the 2023 season, but he dealt with a couple injuries that set him back in the later half. Stroman had made a point that he wanted it known that he wanted to discuss a longer-term extension with the Cubs during this past season, but the Cubs were not up for that during the season. So, that's why I think he's opting out and ultimately looking to get a few more years on the deal while he's still on the right side of 35. I think that he quite likely has a career year or 2 left in him. And here's the thing that I hate to admit for any player that's done well for the Cubs. He has star energy. He just does. I remember seeing him play at the London series, which is unfortunately where I think he got hurt and nothing was really right for him after that. But I remember being like right above where he was warming up as the starting pitcher in the bullpen. And I was looking down at him and the way that he just interacts with the fans. And I mean, you gotta love him. He just has this energy where I think he will thrive in a place where he can be at least somewhat like the face of the franchise. And I think he was that for the Cubs coming into 2022 where, they had Dansby Swanson and Cody Bellinger, but there's all these new kind of big names coming together. And he just really seemed to fit. And I mean, Chicago is a place where a guy like him is going to be appreciated. So could he come back to the Cubs? Maybe. We'll see. I think it's more likely that he goes to the Giants. I just think he's a really good fit for the Giants. So go get your guy, Giants. I talked about that even more on this past week's episode of Bourbon and Baseball as well. I could also see Marcus Stroman going to someplace like the Twins. Like they need to, add on to their starting pitching from what they've just given away now or lost in free agency. So we'll see. That could be like a cheaper option, not quite a Sonny Gray, but wait to see. So, okay, we got to sing again. I'm sorry. Producer June is upset. She's having a moment. Producer June is afraid of stairs. So I am in my basement. She's standing at the top of the stairs, whimpering like she wants to come down, but she can't talk herself into it. This is a thing. This is a struggle that we have. June, would you like to come down? Or are you going to stay up there? Forgive me. It is why I am distracted at the moment. So let's see if I can get through these 10 days. Or I'll give June a kiss if I forget one. 10 wins last season, 9th inning guy, 8 postseason games, 7 IL stints, 6 wins above replacement, 5 ERA, 4 Golden Gloves, 3 MVPs, 2 players and 1, and a power hitter in a pear tree. Whew. June, I'll give you a kiss anyway. Come on down. On the 11th day of Christmas, baseball gave to me. She made it, you guys. She made it. She's down the stairs. Welcome, producer June. Thank you for joining us. On the 11th day of Christmas, baseball gave to me 11 postseason RBIs. Who had 11 postseason RBIs in 2023? That's our boy, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., LGJ. The timing is right. Producer Junior actually making an appearance. So good to see you. If you're watching, you can see producer June. She was just sniffing the tree. There she is. Hi, producer June. Thank you for all your hard work and thank you for joining us. Anyway, back to Lourdes Gurriel Jr. The timing is right on for him to hit free agency. Not only was he a postseason game changer with 11 RBIs in the 2023 postseason run with the Diamondbacks, he is coming off a 2023 season where he was named to his first ever career All-Star game. He hit 24 home runs. He posted a 106 WRC plus, and he finished second among all left fielders in baseball in defensive runs saved. That is quite the stride in his defensive performance from seasons past. So I was excited to see that for him. He's easily one of the best outfield free agent options this offseason. He's a great contact hitter. He hits the ball hard, and he strikes out just 17.4% of the time, which is well below league average. Awesome. He also has amazing purple hair. If you didn't know, his hair is like the color of my nails. My nail color is called Northern Lights, by the way, to give you a visual if you can't see my nails, if you're just listening. Lourdes Gurriel Jr., amazing purple hair, amazing vibes. So maybe it's Miami. Will the other Gurriel go to Miami? His brother, Yuli Gurriel, is coming off a 1-year deal. So why not swap one Gurriel for the other? I also think the Mariners could really use a guy like Lourdes Gurriel Jr. in they're looking for a fit for outfield bats there. And LGJ is predicted to get 3 years, $48 million. I feel like he could get longer than that with obviously a lower AAV, but we'll find out. Go get it, LGJ. 11 postseason RBIs, 10 wins above replacement, 9th inning guy, 8 postseason games, 7 IL stints, 6 wins above replacement, 5 ERA, 4 Gold Gloves, 3 MVPs, 2 players and 1, and a power hitter in a pear tree. We made it to the 12th day. On the 12th day of Christmas, baseball gave to me 12 years of guaranteed money. Who wants that 12 years of money We all do. But Cody Bellinger is looking for it. So we all know that Cody Bellinger had a bounce back season on a 1-year deal with the Cubs after he was non-tendered by the Dodgers last offseason. Player that started really hot, had super high potential, a lot of excitement around him, had a couple super down years. But now at 28 years old, he finished this past season with a 307 average, 26 home runs, 97 RBIs, 20 steals, and an 881 OPS over 130 games. So now, way better time to go out there and test that free agent market again after he has greatly improved his value. Bellinger plays a great center field. He plays solid first base, and he's a Scott Boras client, and he wants all the money over all the years. So I had to close with this one because it was reported on MLB radio that he is looking for a contract, quote, around 12 years, $252 million. Me too, Cody. You let me know. Hook me up. 12 years, $252 million. So he's going to get paid over $20 million until he is 40 years old. So, we'll see. I don't doubt it because of the things that Scott Boras had the ways that Scott Boras has fleeced people in the past, but I feel like that isn't happening as often lately. Like, thank you, Giants, for stepping up and saying, like, we're not all just going to like bend over for Scott Boras over and over and over again. Like, come on, by now we're catching on, right? It does seem like people are catching on a little bit more. I sure as hell hope so. I'm not saying that Cody Bellinger does not deserve to get paid a lot of money, because obviously he does. And if they want to spread it out over 12 years, knowing that he won't play at least those last two, like that's fine, I guess. But $252 million. We shall see. I'm taking the Yankees or the Cubs for Bellinger. I know the Cubs fans want him back so bad. And I'm assuming, depending on what other pieces the Cubs have their eyes on and can lock down, that, they're going to do whatever they can to get Bellinger. And I think they should. When you have someone who has success with you, it's always better to just keep him there if you can. And why not? So I'm picking Cubs, but he's super attractive to the Yankees for many obvious reasons. That left-handed bat going to hit, probably 35 home runs. Maybe not that many, 32. Give him a few more in Yankee Stadium. He does have his share of extra base hits that could turn into a long ball in Yankee Stadium. So that's it. 12 years of money. Should we see? Should we run it down? Should we run it back? 12 years of money, 11 postseason RBIs, 10 wins last season, 9th inning guy, 8 postseason games, 7 IL stints, 6 wins above replacement, 5 ERA, 4 gold gloves, 3 MVPs, 2 players and 1, and a power hitter in a pear tree. I almost lost it there on the last one. Whew, we did it. All right. We made it. The 12 free agents of Christmas. If there is one, 2, 5, 6 that I missed, obviously there's way more free agents than the 12 that we talked about today. If there are players that you are invested in, that you are watching closely, and you want to make predictions on, hit me up. Let me know. You can leave a comment on the YouTube channel here. You can rate and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform where you're listening, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. Yeah, that 5-star rating is way better than a 5 ERA. 5 stars for me. Go do it. Yeah, 5-star rating. That's like the easiest, quickest thing you can do. And then if you leave a review, and you can always share your thoughts and comments about this episode or any of them, or what you want to hear about in the future. Would love to hear from you. You can hit me up on social media for that as well, at Kbird Tweets on the Twitter. We are at peace.love.baseball on Instagram, and you can find us on Facebook as well, at Peace, Love, and Baseball. The YouTube channel is K-Bird Tweets, so make sure you subscribe there as well. Just hit that subscribe whether you're on the YouTube channel or on your podcast platform, because then you're never going to miss anything. We're right here. And here is another reason that you'll want to tune in next week. As part of next week's episode, just one of the many amazing things I'm sure we're going to have to talk about post-winter meetings is we here at Peace, Love, and Baseball, and as the listeners of Peace, Love, and Baseball, we are going to get to decide what song Wesley McKinney of Validity is going to put out as this year's musical Christmas card. So every year, Wesley McKinney does a musical Christmas card, and this year he has given us full autonomy, folks, to decide which song he is going to sing. And so maybe I'll pick some, maybe you can give me some suggestions, but we'll make a poll. We're going to vote on it and we're going to talk all about it next week. So make sure that you stop in for that, whether it's live here on Monday night or you check out the new episode next Tuesday. And I will see you then. I will be here for more peace, love, and baseball.